Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Will.
I'm Brian.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons, from tall tales to tough timber. And today we're talking about Tortles. The Dungeoncast. Okay, Brian. So today we're talking about Tortles.
Today we're talking about Tortles.
Indeed we are.
What the hell?
So
It's like a turtle?
they're turtle men, basically, and we'll get into that in a minute. I'm just really surprised. Huh?
Sound like bullywugs?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I love comparing
kinda.
stuff to bullywugs, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. I was really surprised that we got this race at, well, number one at all, let alone before a lot of cool other races. Don't get me wrong. I think Tortles are cool. We're going to talk all about them. They're pretty neat.
You're going to have to convince me, honestly.
They're a really deep cut. So, okay. Number one, the Tortles are available in the Tortle package PDF that was released alongside of the Tomb of Annihilation module.
Did you say Tortle package PDF?
Tortle package PDF.
Okay.
Well, it's a PDF called the Tortle package.
the Tortle package?
And in the Tortle package. And inside it, you will find the
Tortle package.
Sure.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
the
that.
Tortle.
Okay, now, where was I?
You're talking about Tortles.
Talking about Tortles. Okay, so they're, okay. They're a humanoidish species. I think calling them a humanoid is a bit of a stretch. They're essentially giant bipedal turtles that can talk.
Okay, so if they stand upright and they have two legs, it's pretty much humanoid.
I don't think so. I
Well,
think
they
that
have
makes
arms,
them
right?
bipedal. I think, yeah, kind of. They got claw hands.
Okay.
But anyways, I don't think they're humanoidish, but they're bipedal turtles is basically what they are. They were originally invented back in 2nd edition as a monster for the Mystara campaign setting.
Okay.
And they have not appeared since 1996.
Wow.
So it was a real deep cut to grab these guys and just throw them into the Tomb of Annihilation module.
Yeah, they were blowing the dust off of those old edition books and just like picking stuff.
Now, they are fitting to the area that they've been introduced to, which is the jungles of Cholt, which we'll get into.
Forgotten Realms again?
Forgotten Realms,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just, again, like someone
Cholt.
had to have had this race on the mind and be like, I'm going to bring those turtle guys into D&D. It's going to happen.
I'm going to breathe life back into these
Yeah,
babies.
apparently. So, okay, so now that they've been introduced into Forgotten Realms, they've been placed as natives of the jungles of Cholt. Cholt is an extremely remote and isolated peninsula covered in mountainous jungles and disease-ridden swamps. It's inhabited pretty much primarily by like savage human tribes, dinosaurs, and the UNT. We haven't really talked about the UNT in this show.
Man, people ask about it a lot too. I don't
They're
really know what that is.
fucking cool, and we are going to get to the UNT, and it's going to be a big episode. They're like demonic snake people.
Oh shit.
And they're super scary, and this place is super scary.
It sounds like a tabaxi place to me.
Yes, I think the tabaxi exists somewhere close to this area.
Okay.
I can't quite remember. But just on the subject of Cholt, if you want a kind of cool video game experience that literally takes you to Cholt where you fight the UNT, and it's a really good game.
Nice.
There was a game that was released for the PlayStation 2 called Demon's Stone. It's a Forgotten Realms game.
Is that the one you kept telling me about?
I don't know if I kept telling you about it, but it's really good. And in the game, you have 3 characters that you can kind of cycle through at any given moment as a fighter, a wizard, and a rogue. And they go on an adventure. But there's this really cool section of the game where you go to Cholt and you fight UNT, and it's a really solid game. Really, really like it. And I suggest it to anyone who's interested in Forgotten Realms in video game form. That being said, let's get back to Tortles.
Okay.
So, Tortles hail from a small island off the nation, or not off the nation, but off the main coastline of Cholt Jungle called the Snout. Now, it's called the Snout because it was originally a peninsula, but eventually, I guess some flooding happened, and now the head of the peninsula is like a separate small island.
Now it's an island.
It's an island now,
cool.
yeah. The Tortles are portrayed as a simple and peaceful people who have an extreme knack for fishing and wilderness survival. They're really all about surviving, especially on their own. They're really solitary creatures.
They're just next level turtles, pretty much.
Basically, they're a naturally nomadic and solitary creature that they spend most of their lives on their own, exploring the wilderness, experiencing wonders, and testing their survivalist instincts. They have a thing where they feel like, well, they have a giant shell on their back that they can retract into, and they view that as their home. So that to them,
my body
home,
is my
home
temple.
Yeah, I know, right? So to them, home isn't a place; it's a carry home on their back.
You don't have indoor,
Quite literally.
You don't have indoor plumbing there.
Yeah, but that's what outside's for, I suppose. So yeah, that's what they do. Let's get into the life cycle of the turtle. They live about 50 years or so.
That seems very short.
Yeah, it's not very long.
The turtles are famous in nature for living like very long.
Are turtles or are tortoises?
Well, sea turtles, which is kind of how
turtles live a long time.
Yes.
So do tortoises. So yeah, that is kind of odd. You would think they would live extra long, but no, they don't.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that sea turtles live like. I don't know if it's like extremely long, but it's pretty long.
According to Little Nemo, you're right.
Yeah, they? Yeah, that's
they make a point. Yeah, and I do know that tortoises live an extremely long time.
Watch Finding Nemo and fact check me, fools.
So, but let's get into the life cycle of a tortle, not a turtle.
Wait,
they only changed one letter.
They just completed the U. Like they just took the U and they drew a circle.
Okay, let's get into it. So tortles are born from eggs, and they spend the first few weeks of their life
trying to get to the ocean.
No, on all fours.
Okay.
And so I would imagine they basically just look like turtles at that point.
Yeah, they're just turtles.
They're just turtles that haven't learned to talk yet.
They haven't completed the U loop.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Tortles have children at the end of their lifespan. So near that 50-year marker is when they have kids, and they are expected to die within a year of their children's birth.
Wow, that's kind of like octopus do that.
Yes, you're right. Octopus do something similar. They do die shortly after their children are born. Excuse me. They spend this time that they have with their children teaching and telling stories to their offspring.
Cool.
So tortles can speak at some point within their first year of life.
So they're pushing. D&D is pushing the envelope on this one because a lot of fools don't pass down information. They just like have kids and like shit gets lost.
It's true.
Yeah.
Not with tortles.
They get a whole year.
Yeah, they get a whole year. During this time and for the rest of their childhood, turtles are raised in a stone compound constructed by their parents.
That's cool.
Yeah. And they're left with whatever tools and gifts their parents left them, and they're expected to fend for themselves.
Okay.
Now, turtles reach adulthood at about 15.
Okay.
It wasn't explicitly stated when turtles leave the compound, but I would imagine it's somewhere between 4 to 15 years of living together with their siblings, but still kind of like in a solitary kind of way. Like they fend for themselves, they feed themselves, but they come back and they sleep in the same area. Is basically what I got out of it.
Kind of on that note, like I've heard of some turtles being like they're in their stone compound and there's like, like running water there. And like they order pizza sometimes.
Oh my God, no!
And
we're not doing this.
They're raised by a rat.
No, we're not doing this.
Giant rat.
Moving on. So eventually, when they reach adulthood,
we are doing this.
They venture out into the jungle, and they will
practice the ways of the ninja.
They will live relatively solitary lives. So turtles have a thing where they like to be alone. They live alone, but they're very, very friendly at the same time. And they will be friends with their neighboring turtles, but they still keep to themselves mostly. So they might not speak to each other for like months or years on end.
Do they fight crime?
No. But at some point in every turtle's life,
they make friends with the news reporter.
No, they feel an urge.
I'll stop.
Okay. At some point in every turtle's life, they will feel an urge to venture far from their home and see more of the world. This can last anywhere from months to years. Eventually, as their life comes to an end, turtles will have the urge to come back, procreate, do all that stuff.
Cool, because we need a reason to adventure.
Yes, and I'm tired of this reason.
Yes, it's the same reason
I'm tired
over and
of
over
like,
again.
oh, no, we got that wanderlust.
It's
you just got to go.
The cat lord comes to them.
The cat lord comes in. It's just, come on.
And now you, Tortle, I ran out of cats.
Yeah, so there that is. Okay, so that's the life cycle of the turtle. Turtles are not particularly religious.
Okay.
But they don't have a pantheon or anything like that, but they do have like superstitions and spiritual beliefs of their own. Also, they can be swayed to worship other people's deities.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Turtles are turtles.
They have God inside them somewhere.
Turtles are very...
Which God? I don't know.
Turtles are very easily wowed. They see wonder in very simple things. So like a cleric coming along and like showing them awesome cleric magic, look what my god can do. Like they'll be like, cool, your god's awesome. Let's worship him or her.
For sure.
So
I always picture like a water genasi doing that, like going along the coast, just like walking underwater and like coming, emerging out of the ocean and like coming up and being like, let me tell you about my fucking ocean god.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be pretty cool. So while not being overtly like religious, they do have a lot of superstitious beliefs, mostly about the day and night cycle. That's kind of like their thing.
That's interesting.
They believe that they are watched over by the day and night, and that the sun and the moon are the respective eyes of the day and night.
That's cool.
And so they consider days or nights where the sun or moon are not present to be very unlucky days and not days to go out and venture.
So gloomy day.
Gloomy days.
Much.
Gloomy days, gloomy nights. Yeah.
Or like night without the moon.
Or a new moon. Yeah. They don't like those times. Those are unlucky times.
That's interesting. I like that.
Meanwhile, like on a day where the moon and sun are both in the sky at the same time, it's an incredibly blessed time. A lot of times that'll be the time the Tortle's like, it's time to go adventure.
Yeah, but are they going to want a dungeon crawl underground?
That's a good point. They do not like it underground. They find themselves very, very uneasy when they cannot see the sky.
D&D has a lot of underground things going on.
They do. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't you
don't have to.
You really don't. There's a lot of other things.
Options everywhere.
So despite being so solitary, Tortles are actually really, really social. They're really amicable, eager to learn and share. They're very, very curious creatures. And they're very friendly to non-Tortles.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
So they're not xenophobic. They're inclusive.
They're very inclusive. They're
nice.
Very inclusive, very open-minded. And they're just all around nice guys.
That's kind of interesting. Yeah. I mean, I like the how they're building, like, you could really take the superstition and do a lot with that in the role play. Yeah,
absolutely.
Like that'd actually be a lot of fun, like coming up with like weird things Tortles are superstitious about.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'll come up with some later. I don't want to do it now.
If I were to play a Tortle, I'd probably come up with like weird like lines of like Tortle wisdom that they just spout every once in a while. Like stuff they say that is just like known amongst Tortles. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, sure.
Like I'd have to make it up right now.
Sayings,
like when a moon rises at blah 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 blah, it's going to be a blah 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 day or something like that.
Yeah, when the moon rises over the mountains, don't go anywhere near that fucking mountain.
Yeah, something.
The mountain is
like
cursed.
Yeah, exactly. Something very superstitious and like obviously doesn't make sense, but to the Tortle, like no, that's everyone knows this.
Well, they would probably follow the moon. So like, the moon is out and it's above that mountain. Let's go there.
Exactly. So before we dive into anything else,
Tortle wisdom, follow the moon.
Indeed. If before we dive into anything else, let's take a short rest.
Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome to that part of the show where, we're resting and telling you about yourself and how good you are to us. Thank you for listening. We love you. Will, tell him that thing you were going to tell him about the
contest.
Yeah,
the contest that's over.
It's over now.
That we have 2 winners for already.
Man, it's the end of an era.
But even though at the time we're recording this, I have no idea who those people are.
Nope. Yeah, exactly.
But at the time of the release of this episode, they will know who they are, and I will know who they are too, because I'll have reached out to them to tell them they won.
Marty, we have to go back. I get really confused.
The timeline of these episodes can get confusing.
Yeah, for us, not you.
So yeah, congratulations to the winners to both of our contests. You've probably already been announced on Twitter and whatnot, and as soon as we know who you are when we're recording, you'll be announced here on the show too.
You've probably been, next episode you'll probably be announced, and on Twitter you probably have been announced at this point.
Indeed.
So congratulations, you guys.
Indeed.
Thanks for participating, everybody in the contest. Sorry if you didn't win, but we run these pretty frequently.
Right now we're running them about once a quarter, so about 4 times a year. I'd like to get big enough to the point where we're running monthly contests. That's my personal goal.
That'd be cool.
So spread the word, because if we get big enough, we'll be running a contest every month.
Yeah, we like to put back into this thing we're doing here. Me and Will are really passionate about this, and
Indeed.
Whether we were getting the kind of following and attention that we're getting or not, we would still be doing the show. And the fact that you're here listening to it and giving us constructive criticism and feedback and things like that, it really means a lot. So thank you guys very much for joining us on this spiritual podcasting adventure that we've embarked on. If you would like to find us, you can do so on soundcloud.com/the Dungeoncast. If you're listening there, go check us out on YouTube, or vice versa. You can just search the Dungeoncast. Thanks, Josh Freeland. Haven't said that for a while. Miss you, buddy. Yeah. The next place you can find us, all the podcasting apps, YouTube.
Every single one.
Yeah, I did that. I said that thing already.
Oh,
but if you want to send us an email, you can do so at thedungeoncast@gmail.com. If you want to find us on Patreon and support us there, that'd be really awesome. You can do so at patreon.com/thedungeoncast. You can find us on Twitter at thedungeoncast. We got our handles right.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think we're ready.
Content?
To go back to the show?
Back to the show.
Let's go. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
We're back. So Tortles, Brian.
Yeah, I fucking love these guys already.
They're pretty cool, right?
I mean,
they're not too shabby.
Sure.
I mean, I wish we'd gotten like Shadow Kai or something before this, or like Warforged.
I know
or,
this seems so low on the priority list of
but,
things
I mean,
we want, but
I'll
you know,
take them.
they're just like holding that carrot out in front of us, you know.
I guess so.
Next book.
We got some turtles. So
Mordenkainen's supposed to have like Shadow Kai, right?
Yes,
Cool.
I'm very excited.
Nice.
Okay, so
Well, we've read it by the time you're listening to this,
yeah, that's true.
so we know already.
Yes,
in
yes,
the past.
we will, or we do.
Wait, huh?
Okay, so we talked about how they're solitary yet friendly.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Tortle settlements.
Yeah,
in
okay.
quotation marks.
Like
Which they do
community,
build.
society.
They build these like temporary villages.
Oh yeah,
where-
they're called Tortle towns, right?
They are now. They are as of right now. Yeah, they build these Tortle towns that no one actually lives in permanently, but Tortles constantly come in to visit and share information and socialize and trade with each other and all that other stuff.
Okay.
And they kind of use these Tortle towns, if you will, to have places like landmarks for people not of the Tortle race to have like touchstones and be like, oh, I'll go to this place because that's where the Tortles are.
Nice.
And then they can trade and talk with people of other races and whatnot. So I kind of like this idea. It's like these weird kind of like it's semi-nomadic.
Yeah, and it's alien too in a way because like,
It is alien.
The
It's
Tortles
not
like
how humans do things.
they're not like if your body is your home, like the inside of my shell is my home, then I'm not really nomadic, am I? Like in a way I am because I'm wandering, but like
point.
I'm always home or near home.
Right.
And it like that concept, that's what's alien about it to me is that concept is vanished. Like I don't have a home to go back to. I am a home.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Another cool thing, well, not cool thing, but another interesting thing about these Tortle towns, if you will.
And I
is
do.
Their lack of attachment to them because they're not permanent in any way.
Well, right. That's the play is like
Yeah.
I am a home.
Yeah, right. Makes it so that if these places are attacked, they just leave. They just flee. They don't need to defend it. Like they'll just make another one somewhere else. It's okay.
Maybe it's all about home. It's like I have to save my home, which is to leave.
Which is me.
Yeah.
So there that is. I think we talked a bit already about how turtles view the simple things in the world as like wondrous.
Yeah.
Like I wrote down some examples like the wind blowing. That's enough to make me whoa.
Shit, look at the way it's moving the tree leaves.
A crowded marketplace is a wonder to them, or a pristine lake.
Like vines that
it's
move on
almost
their
like they're
own.
on drugs constantly. And they're just constantly tripping out.
They're just like, wow, man, look what if I put my finger close to it, it reaches out and wraps around.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly like that. So yeah, that's Tortles for you. They're very adept at
Double
crafting.
rainbow.
They're adept,
all the way across the sky.
Indeed.
It's so beautiful.
because of their wilderness survival skills, they're also really adept at crafting their own tools, their own weapons, obviously their own shelters. We talked about them building shelters for, when they're getting ready to nest and all that other stuff.
Right.
And they're always looking to learn new skills. Mm-hmm. They like learning things. They have a natural curiosity. So
right.
as adventurers, they're going to learn combat. They'll learn, crafting skills and brewing skills and all that other stuff. Sure. You could have a monk Tortle, Brian. You could.
I could.
It's a thing that could happen.
I would.
All right.
I will.
Let's get into Tortle traits.
Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, I bet you wish we had done this episode before we did the monk episode.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Well, now I know more about it, though.
That's true.
The monk stuff.
So, as a Tortle, you're going to get a plus
headband of a certain color.
God damn it.
Sorry. Go ahead.
We're going to get a +2 to strength and a +1 to wisdom. Now, the strength thing kind of threw me for a loop, but the fact is these boys and girls weigh anywhere from 350 to 450 pounds because their turtle shells are so heavy.
Wow.
And they're big.
Yeah.
So that's why they get this +2 to strength, because they are strong. They got to carry these big old shells everywhere.
Nice.
A +1 to wisdom because, well, they're kind of like hippies. So
that's like the Kame style. They wear turtle shells to like strengthen their bodies.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, in Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
That's
cool.
Masaroshi will wear a turtle shell and train with it. It's like super heavy.
They stand about 5 or 6 feet tall, so that's a pretty big turtle.
That is really big.
They get a base walking speed of 30 feet. They get a feature called claws, which they have claws. Their claws are natural weapons, and I believe it's a D4 plus strength mod, and it's bludgeoning damage, which makes sense.
Oh, wow, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
When it would be slashing, because it's a claw.
Right. I don't know. That's just what it says, man.
It's more like a punch.
It's more like a punch. Yeah.
It's like baseball bats on the end of your...
Right.
You know those mini
They're
bats
like
you can
clubs.
buy? Yeah, little clubs.
So they get the hold breath ability, which means that they can hold their breath for up to an hour at a time. Turtles aren't natural swimmers, but they can remain underwater for some time before needing to come up for air.
I think sea turtles can hold their breath for like a day or something like that.
Well, that's really impressive.
Or is it like 3 hours?
I don't know.
Man, those are opposite sides of the spectrum. Never mind.
Indeed. It's really are, man. And I don't think a day makes any type of biological sense.
Man,
so let's go with
just
a few
know that
hours.
I don't know what I'm talking about right now.
Absolutely. I'm like 24 hours. Wait a minute. No, they don't get the lung capacity.
Well, I don't
All
know.
right, moving on. Natural armor. This one kind of goes without saying. Due to your shell and the shape of your body, you are ill-suited to wearing armor. So you can't really wear armor.
Yeah,
your shell
okay.
provides ample protection, however. It gives you a base AC of 17, which is really big. Your dexterity modifier does not affect this number.
Okay, so it's just you're kind of locked into that one.
Yeah. You gain no benefit from wearing armor, but if you are using a shield, you can apply a shield bonus as normal.
Oh, cool.
So you could just kind of have a natural, not natural, but base AC of 19, really, if you got a shield.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, which is solid. And
I
also,
like
you can't wear armor. And I wonder how this works if you go monk. Because let's say you pump dex and wisdom and you end up with like a 16. I guess you would just take your 17.
Yeah. I mean,
so there that is. Yeah. Interesting.
You're going to be pretty tanky in this class.
Indeed.
Oh, that's cool for a wizard.
Yeah, it is.
That's really cool.
That's really cool for a wizard.
You don't have to take that BS
do anything.
bark skin or like magic armor or whatever it is.
Right. You also get a feature called Shell Defense. I really like this feature. It's not tactically the best, but it's tactically interesting.
Okay.
You can withdraw into your shell as an action. Until you emerge, you gain a +4 bonus to AC and have advantage on strength and constitution saving throws. While in your shell, you are prone. Your speed is 0 and you can't increase your speed. You have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, and you can't take reactions. And the only action you can take is a bonus action to emerge from your shell.
So did that dragon recharge their breath or whatever, and they haven't used it yet?
Exactly.
Let's go into the shell.
It's definitely useful, but it's super. It's very much not overpowered in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I like it though. It is situational in a lot of ways, but
like I said, not exactly tactically sound, but tactically interesting.
I mean, you're taking that's brutal. Like you're prone, so you have to spend the next turn, getting out of it and getting up. So
absolutely.
Make sure you time that well.
You will also get a feature called Survival Instinct. You gain proficiency in survival. Tortles have finally honed survival instincts. Nice. I like this. I think we've talked about this many times. Yeah, just pick a skill that makes sense, and that's a skill.
Yeah,
and that's what they did here.
You should.
Good job, wizards.
Hey Wizards, some love for you.
You did better. Anyways, languages you can speak, read, and write. Aquan and Common.
Cool.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Aquan.
Makes sense. I guess you're a notion thing.
So Primordial's not on the list. Do you remember our little
thing
we got into last
Primordial
time?
versus Aquan and Orin and all that stuff? Yeah.
So it's weird that Primordial isn't on the list.
On the list for these guys?
Yeah.
Or why would it be?
Is it? Well,
No.
because I thought Primordial and like those sub languages are like connected, so it would make sense.
They
for
are
them to speak
connected,
both.
but like okay.
It's like a dialect thing, I imagine.
I think it's a dialect thing, and also like Primordial is like it's like the all speak of all.
It's
these
a common.
languages. Yeah.
It's like some weird alter common.
Higher elemental beings will be able to speak Primordial, but the lower ones will only be able to speak their.
I get it. So that's
dialect.
What's splitting them. Okay, I feel like I understand.
It's kind of. I mean, it's not really the official take on it, but that's just kind of how I see it and what I've seen.
Okay. I mean, I have to rationalize it somehow because it's confusing.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, there's different dialects of the same language. You know what I mean? So
I mean, totally.
It may make sense. So, any questions about Tortles, Brian? Are you interested in playing one? If you were, what class would you choose?
I would probably be like some kind of rogue or fighter or monk.
I think druid is an over obvious choice, but it'd be kind of interesting.
But that's not a Ninja Turtle.
True. It's not.
Shit, I said the thing.
You did. All right, I think we're done here.
Yeah, let's call it a game.
The Dungeoncast. A lot of T sounds.
Yes, that was the goal. We did well.
Indeed.